I'm so happy today to introduce you to a very special guest for Volunteer Gardener, Sarah Champier, who was the florist for 11 years for Prince Charles. And she has joined us this year at the Antiques and Garden Show to show us some of her amazing talent. Tell us a little bit about working for the Prince.
Well, obviously it was, it was a vocation, I would say,
Right.
rather than a job.
Right.
Something that I loved and adored, was very fond of, and it was just a huge, huge part of my life.
And
great experience.
You did flowers at Highgrove, as I
did.
understand, which is his country estate.
That's
and
correct.
other homes as well?
Yes, well, I did the flowers wherever he hosted.
Okay.
And obviously the private residences as well, which incorporated, trips to Sandringham or visits to Birk Hall in Scotland, and occasionally abroad if he was hosting something. So it was quite
Well, it sounds like the job of a lifetime.
It was extraordinary.
Right. Well, you created a number of pieces here today in the hour or so that you had, and I want you to tell our viewers just a little bit about kind of how you go about arranging things and what they might be able to do themselves at home. I know you spoke a lot about the garden and sort of bringing the garden
That's
indoors.
correct.
So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about some of these arrangements and how you go about it.
Typical favourite of the Prince. That was a very informal spring arrangement, basically creating nature with nature itself.
Right.
Recreating what's in the garden, just making it look as if you'd stumbled across it in the
Sure.
arboretum, the forest floor.
And anything you can gather.
Anything you can gather. So some amazing fungi,
Right.
lichen twigs, any old broken pots.
Right, even just the bottom of an old broken pot
Exactly.
or twigs
I mean,
or anything.
you're giving it a new life.
Right.
And just recreating what's already existing, but enabling you to bring it into the home to enjoy it visually.
Sure. And then I love the way that you took this from being sort of a low mounded arrangement to something that's much taller and elevated.
Yeah.
And just with pussy willow twigs.
That's just you could use any twigs, but pussy willow is particularly nice.
Right.
Creates a sort of cage, but it elevates an arrangement that tends to be quite low. This is a typical example of perhaps what the borders are like in the cottage garden at Highgrove. So it was sort of echoing that, starting with the highest of the larkspur, moving down through waxflower into the stock. Beautiful big blousy roses. Yeah, big blousy girls, wonderful fragrance. And also incorporating, whatever seasonal, antirrhinum, aconitum.
Right. So again, the thought being that you've really just gone out into the garden and collected buckets of flowers.
Exactly that.
And then we have another little kind of springy arrangement
That's
here.
right. This is a bit more compact and bijou, a bit more manageable. But this takes it to another level, gathering pots, recreating, nature with a nest and a few eggs.
Sure.
Just giving it another angle,
Right.
really.
And these flowers actually were potted.
They are.
And you've just used them, to slip them out of their pots and use them.
Exactly. So this would last quite a while in the home, and then afterwards you could just pop the bulbs back in the garden.
Right, and they'll come back for next year.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And then, of course, this magnificent fall-autumn arrangement that you did, and all of these deep burgundy and red colors, and that
very sort of warm, cozy colours. There's a lot to look at, a lot going on, and I've used fruits that I could gather and vegetables.
Sure.
So it's just
sort of the bounty of on autumn harvest.
Absolutely.
And those kinds of things. Now the apples are on picks, on wooden picks, that you can get the height out of them that you need. You've got these incredible roses.
I know, they're extraordinary, aren't they?
But then I just love the little balls of moss and those kinds of things. I think one of the things I love that you did was use traditional things in sort of untraditional, non-traditional ways.
When the flowers arrive, they've got to be unpacked, stripped up to the waist,
cut, put
fresh
in water,
and given time to drink. 24 hours of giving them, that really will give you a really good start.
Sure.
With what
and I don't know
you
what your
purchase.
theory is, but mine always is lots of water.
Lots of water.
Lots of deep water to get their stems down deep so that they can really drink up.
Also to keep the water clean, you can add a dot of something just to keep it fresh.
Sure.
I don't know what you use over here.
Probably just a spot of bleach or something like that.
Yeah, a spot of bleach or a little drop of milk or something. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for not only being a part of the Antiques and Garden Show, but agreeing to come on and be with us and share with our viewers at home some of these magnificent arrangements and a little bit of insight into what you've done.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.